Hello class. So my presentation is on the Fair Housing Act of 1968, and the agenda of the presentation is the Fair Housing Act of 1968. It provides a highlight of the information contained in the act and how it can be applied in the United States. And the presentation can enlighten the audience on the structuring of the social work policy and how it benefits the American people. The background of the problem: there's an acute shortage of housing in the United States. This has been mainly caused by building laws and restrictive zoning in the country, and it has increased the prices of houses in the country. Many Americans cannot afford these houses, and this has led to increase of another social issue in our country, homelessness. Many people end up working for long hours and spend um, more than 30% of their income on rent. Policy description: this policy that prohibits discrimination of any form in residential areas. No individual should be denied a house based on their race, sex, religion, and even family status, among others. The clause that allowed women to purchase property was added later on to the policy in 1974. Upon the inception, it was considered a felony to threaten an agent that was practicing the guidelines of the Fair Housing Act of 1968. So, looking at it from a statistical standpoint, in 2019, 37.1 million families were spending more than 30% of their income on rent. And house cost burden is more prevalent to the African American community at a rate of 53.7%. The income loss due to coronavirus led to many homeowners falling behind on their mortgage payments, and 41% of home seekers consider mortgages as a main barrier towards becoming a homeowner. So, implementation. Um, the social worker policy can be implemented at different levels to ensure that it benefits the American citizens. The Department of Housing and Urban Development must handle the administrative compliance of impartiality fairly. The available housing units have to be given to the public with no any form of discrimination based on class, and the violation of the policy must be prosecuted under the law to ensure consistency countrywide. Um, the evaluation of this policy: the act managed to prohibit any form of discrimination um, in selling, financing, or renting of housing based on class, such as race, gender, and or any form of disability. Despite the various guidelines of the policy, there is no clear definition of the word fair housing to help in guiding limit discrimination. The policy managed to include other protected categories such as handicap in subsequent legislation. Racial segregation of housing much apparent to the country. And the recommendations: there's not much housing, so affordable housing. So like supply affordable housing to the American citizens. Department of Housing and Urban Development has a duty to ensure that all the different ethnic or racial groups in the country have equal access to these units, and the policy can be incorporated into suburban development corporation with local authorities to ensure that the Fair Housing Act is implemented. Strategies to be put into place to reduce discrimination at the point of sale. and policies to help make rent affordable to the citizens would allow people to spend less on their income on their housing. And here are my sources. And thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation.